Here we go again. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 334. My name is Mel Popeye Moss, my co-host Mel O.G. Robbins, and in studio with us is our National SA Geezer.
How you doing?
There we go. So we're gonna get started today, and Mel, because we did this yesterday and I screwed it up. Let's start out. And let's start out talking about bikers and things that are going on, Mel. I want to point out something really quick because of what's happened here in recent weeks in the Metroplex. And the amount of people that are being hit on the side of the road. We had 3 people killed the other night while on the side of the road trying to change a tire. The guy hits them, kills 3 people. He leaves the scene of the accident, Mel, and he leaves his injured son in the car. Now, as bad as that is, and that's really horrible, this is happening again and again and again and again around the Metroplex. And the point I want to make about it is the fact that police officers, like they were last weekend, are pulling bikers on the side of the road to profile them, to harass them, whatever it might be, and they're keeping them there hour and hours at a time. Now, it's just a matter of time before some drunk fool comes along, and Mel, I pray this never happens, but I think it's just a matter of time where these police officers get somebody killed.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for absolute sure. Just as a side note here, our hit and run driver, was he legal, illegal? I mean, it's kind of weird that he would leave an injured son in the car or, run off with him. Something, either he was totally in shock over what he did and wasn't thinking, or it was illegal to begin with and he was just trying to get the hell out of there.
Mel, that's a good question. It's a good question. They haven't mentioned that. But with the way the media is nowadays, I wouldn't doubt that they wouldn't mention it. Just saying.
Yep. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree. But I just believe that, we see all this mess going on with the profiling, like we did last weekend, where the bikers were being stopped, groups of them, and maybe not groups of them, again and again and again. Matter of fact, Ismail, they profiled them so many times they lost track of who they had profiled, and they had stopping them multiple times going in and out of the event. It's incredible.
Well, in my mind's eye, they've literally declared war on the biker community.
Right.
I mean, it's like there's wartime conditions going on. They've declared war, and now they've given the bikers no choice but to start pushing back.
Right. Right.
I mean, that or we can be a bunch of pansies and take it. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone out there that's riding a motorcycle that wants to take that kind of bullshit ought to sell their bike and go do something else.
Yeah.
Because they're not a biker.
Yeah. Now, Mel, what we are starting to see is more videos out of it, and let's get more videos, more audios. Even the audio will help. And Mel, as we are going to start archiving. We're going to take all the materials we have, all the videos we have, and we're going to archive them in one spot. And but we'll continue to gather videos, and what it is, it's evidence. Because somewhere along the line, Mel, they're going to make a mistake, and there's going to be a club with some wherewithal. In other words, a club with the ability to raise money and fight back legally and then also at the same time, we will be fighting back with seeking redress. And wherever they don't want us, we're going to go. We're going to go.
Well, I'm in hopes we could get something on through the Coalition of Clubs and Independents,
Right.
which is a perfect venue for that because you've got a few hundred clubs that get together every other month up here. I think it's just about every other month for all the different regions, Houston, San Antonio, Tyler, wherever. But you've got a lot of clubs getting together, and you got a lot of clubs that are getting really upset for the bullshit that law enforcement's starting to pull, thanks to our beloved governor and whoever the hell else is trying to pull strings out there. It's just a great time for all the clubs to pull together. We are a coalition. Let's go for the true meaning, and let's gather the evidence. And I think at a point in time, there needs to be some kind of legal action filed against whoever we can determine is mostly responsible for this, or where it should be filed. And I guess that would be determined by the attorney, but then all the clubs could chip in, we could do fundraisers, and let's get this on, just like they did with that criminal database up in Chicago, where they filed that class action suit up there. Something needs to be done, or these clowns are going to keep doing it, and like you said, eventually they're going to get somebody killed, or they're going to shoot somebody.
Right.
Because now we're encouraging everyone to say, and saying, hey, don't keep your registration in the saddlebags, because that just gives them the excuse to search the rest of that saddlebag and then go to the next one because you voluntarily opened it up to get your registration out. Put that, your proof of insurance in an envelope, or keep it in your wallet with your driver's license. And if you don't want to put your registration in your wallet, put it in an envelope and put it in the inside pocket in your cut.
Right.
But then you got the problem of reaching for it when the cop asks for it, and you got to say, well, it's in my cut. I got to reach to my inside pocket to get it out for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, Mel, we've been vilified so much by law enforcement. You know, you would think that people would see that this is a waste of money, but the public doesn't know. I mean, we've been vilified so much. Not only is the public that doesn't understand what's going on, law enforcement itself has vilified us to the point to where, you know, the minute they get out of the car, they've got their hands on their guns. The minute they get out of the car, they are at a heightened level of alert, I guess you'd say, thinking that some biker is going to take some action against them. And Mel, that's just not going to happen. As you and I know that many, if not all, 1% clubs have stressed to their everybody else, their clubs, and, you know, saying, hey, look, if you got a bad actor within your group, get rid of them. Now, law enforcement doesn't follow the same set of values. They try and hang on to their bad actors. And it's just, like you said, it's just a matter of time before somebody makes a mistake. And it won't be the bikers. It will not be them. And like I've pointed out, Mel, we've got so much crime up here in the DFW area. So many things are going on. People are being killed nightly. People are being robbed daily, nightly. I mean, the amount of crime going on in this area, and for them to think that they're doing something good by wasting all the man hours and all the money stopping bikers and harassing bikers and using these silly drones, it's just a waste of time in a city and the entire metroplex who's suffering from higher crimes. Go ahead.
Well, case in point, I was watching the video of law enforcement stopping the Sovereign Sons,
Right.
and I was almost horrified watching what in the hell was going on. You got, in my view, a pretty clean-cut looking lad standing there with his cut on, got his hands in the air. You've got some meatball cop reaching into his cut. Apparently he had a concealed weapon permit, reaching to the inside of his cut, pulling his weapon out, popping the clip, taking the round out, and handing it to a state trooper who was standing there observing. And the trooper, I think, handed it to someone else. This cop that had retrieved the weapon initially, I couldn't tell what the hell kind of uniform he was in. I think he was wearing some kind of assault gear or whatever. And then after they took the guy's gun away, he has to turn around, and it looks like he's placed both arms. He's in that outstretched position, leaning over on his motorcycle or on a car or something. And you got to ask, what the hell is going on here? They pull him over for a traffic stop, and how the hell they can pull him all over when the alleged violation here was the last guy in line took a wide turn.
Yeah.
So what the fuck gives them the right to pull the whole group over to begin with?
And put the whole group in danger. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I mean, we know what's going on. It's fishing expedition, finding anything they can find, making illegal stops. Like you said, there's one rider that swung wide, and if that's a crime or he got a ticket for it, I would be surprised.
No violations were issued.
There you go.
That was the topper on the whole thing.
There you go. That happens time and time again. And, why stop them in the first place if you're not going to write a ticket or whatever? Of course, we may make them start writing tickets if we continue to bitch about it. But, hey, look, it is what it is. Now we also have them, as I've pointed out, the one law enforcement officer that said that pulled over a club member, and I think this one was in his truck, and he wanted to see his registration. Because he said they didn't recognize the stickers, the like the little 19 sticker for 2019. They don't recognize those as legitimate. Now, why in the hell should as taxpayers should we waste the money on those stickers if they're not recognizable as a sign that you've got your bike registered and it's ready to go? Of course, Mel, we've already pointed out that the law enforcement officers, the minute they stop you, the minute they run your plates, they basically know who you are unless they know all about the bike anyway, unless it's a broad bike. So, I mean,
well,
give me a break. Give me a break.
Some mental moron within the law enforcement community has come up with the latest what they think is great excuse for asking for more information, because now they're saying they don't recognize the sticker on the license plate.
Right.
Well, and then they wonder why the hell there's so much hostility between our community and theirs when they pull bullshit like this.
Yeah. Mel, that event that went on that weekend, of course, most clubs have some kind of event at some level, maybe not that big or anything, but when you put on a thing like that, it costs money. It costs money, and you're there for a good time to meet with people, and maybe meet with other clubs that are within your realm. Maybe you're an independent going. But I mean,
that's right.
It's the thing about it is they're there to meet and have a good time. Now, as I see it, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, 14th Amendment, all those amendments are being violated by law enforcement on a daily basis somewhere across Texas and America. It's wrong, and we've got to push back. And, so understand, they're just trying to have their meeting and have a good time and move on. There's no crimes being conspired at one of those events. And man, we've been to a bunch of them for a bunch of different clubs and everybody else, including the big events here in Texas, like Austin and Galveston, who, oh, by the way, have found a way to make the city money off of it. Because bikers do spend money. They do. It's a fact. Wherever we go. And so, I guess they'll keep wasting taxpayer dollars as crime continues to climb across Texas and across the nation. Because nobody is taking the right actions to stop crime in this country. And that includes the crime of drugs, which has gotten to an epidemic level across this country. Period. Chasing a bunch of bikers is not going to solve any problems. It'll damn sure waste a lot of time and money, though. And Geezer, you got to get in here.
Y'all are going good. I don't want to slow you down. Well, yeah, the Idaho, they continue to profile motorcycles in every way they can. Idaho, the Senate, they were voting on anti-profiling bill, and they wouldn't let anyone in with colors. There's nothing in the Senate bylaws that preclude somebody coming in wearing a motorcycle vest, just like it is in Texas. You can go all through there with your colors on. And I think it was almost passed. They sent it back to committee to have a few things ironed out on it. But Daytona, they're doing their. Of course, they do this every March to make money for their city. The police chief said, if you're wearing colors, we're going to pull you over, and it's going to cost you to go.
It's going to cost you.
They're either going to waste your time or they're going to get some money from you, one or the other.
Okay. They see it as a money pit.
Yes.
Additional money to the city coffers, because I promise you the city makes, they wouldn't do it if they didn't make money off of it. So our hats off to Daytona in a way. Our hats off aren't to the police departments there that continue to harass and throw out one of these fishing expeditions hoping to catch somebody for something, maybe a warrant, maybe a ticket, whatever. Make some money for their jails. I wonder if they have for-profit jails there. Just a thought.
Probably.
Well, there's another dynamic here too, and that is the media has vilified the biker community for some time, along with all the bullshit you see coming out of Hollywood. These things that they produce that portray all bikers out there as some kind of hoodlum or criminal or murderer or whatever, all thugs. And the police departments, by doing this, are able to not only bolster but substantiate their budget proposals that they hand in to the city commission, the county commission, the state legislation, because they're after all these horrible bikers and they need all this extra money. So you can be damn sure we're being used for that too.
Yeah. Yep. Mel, there was a study done by Bowling Green. I want to recap this for everybody. There was a study done by Bowling Green University and the National Institute of Justice, whoever the hell they are. They did this study where they studied how many law enforcement officers had been arrested across the country. And Mel, the numbers are staggering. They're in the hundreds, probably close to 1,000 police officers that are arrested each year across the country for nefarious crimes. Now, those numbers, they say, are skewed. And Mel, they say that the reason they're skewed are probably low, well, meaning they're low, the numbers they have, because police departments will actually give cover to police officers that have committed crimes in their cities and states. We know this through the Waco thing, where the police officers that fired the high-powered AR-15s willy-nilly around the place, also killing, people. I think their number was 8. I think they claim they may have killed 4. I don't know where that's going to go. It may never be answered, because I don't think anybody else is going to trial anytime soon.
They don't want it answered.
Exactly. They don't want it answered. So they rushed those police officers and got them no-billed really quick. Really quick. So they if they've committed a crime, if they actually murdered somebody, they're off the hook.
Yeah, I think they only tested, 3 of the rifles?
They tested 4 of the rifles of the...
Well, try this on for size. When the ballistics came back on the bodies, every body had 1/4-inch holes in them.
Yeah.
Now, your 38, your 9mm, all those calibers don't make little 1/4-inch holes, let alone if you have a supposed group of bikers in some kind of a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you think are going to be center mass and head shots? Not happening anytime soon. So, everybody was almost riddled with 223 rounds, or, front and back, center mass.
Right.
So, yeah, they damn sure don't want a whole lot of testing going on.
Right. Right. So, Mel, let's touch on what's in the news right now, and it is, and does it relate to bikers? Yeah, let me tell you why. We'll point out why when we as we get into it. But what we see going on right now with these college students, where the parents bought their ways into major universities, seems to be it probably is an epidemic because it's been going on for so long. But the reason they got caught is because they were donating to charities, so a so-called charity, in order to get their kids into a certain school. And,
they were laundering the money through charity organizations.
Exactly, Mel. And we know rich people have been getting their kids into colleges for years, because hey, but it would generally cost millions. And maybe they'd have to donate to their law department, their science department, donate some money to the school, donate money to build them a wing onto the university, those kind of things. Now, what was suggested today is those people were actually trying to do it on the cheap. One of them gave $15,000. The others gave $500,000. Two of the cases they keep talking about with the movie stars, and so they were actually doing it cheaper because they were trying to donate and get a tax refund off of it, or a tax deduction. Now, what makes it pertain to bikers to me is when that frickin' FBI agent stood up there and said there will not be a two-tier system for getting into college. But there is a two-tier system when it comes to law and law enforcement, and we're going to find out as this stuff goes along. Because many of these people are going to get out of this because they, law enforcement and politicians and everybody else have probably been participating in the same thing. But it goes then, laws for them and laws for us. If you've got the ability to pay, if you're well connected, you get off the hook. And I'm going to be shocked if any of these people actually go to jail, but number one, because they're liberal, and number two, because they've got a lot of money. They can hire the best lawyers, which that doesn't happen for our community. It just doesn't happen. We are examples of laws for them and laws for us, and it goes on all across the country. It's an amazing thing that we see going on. And Mel, let me say, it was pointed out today that all these people that were these people trying to get their kids into Harvard and Yale and all these other places, those are the colleges that supply most of the bureaucrats that sit in Washington, D.C. They're called the deep state.
Right.
And Mel, they're beholden to nobody. Nobody's elected them. Nobody. I mean, who the hell are they? But the Congress has given a power to them, and they're able to make laws willy-nilly without them being debated and going through a process. They're just able to make laws, and hey, the rest of us, all of a sudden we're saying, what in the hell how the hell this happened? That's how it happens. The bureaucrats have taken the place of the Congress. It makes you wonder what the hell the Congress is doing other than having one investigation after the other and sitting on their asses.
Taking vacations.
Exactly. So that's how it connects to bikers in a way. The laws for them and the laws for us been going on forever. And Mel, the only way we get it stopped, number one, term limits. How do you get term limits? Have the national, what do they call it, Mel?
It's
the deal of the states.
Yeah.
Convention of the states, I think it's called.
Convention. Yep.
Yeah.
Constitutional Convention.
Constitutional Convention, that's right. And we have to force them into term limits. What does term limits do? Term limits would keep them from colluding with each other for decades on end. And just maybe we can end some of the silly retirement plans and everything else we got going on in government for not only politicians but bureaucrats and everybody else.
Well, let me enhance what you just said through a personal conversation I had with a U.S. congressman back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And was here in Texas. And this congressman, nice guy, well loved and respected by the community. He recently passed away. He was going for another term, and he got beat out by a younger guy. He just recently died. But we were at dinner, and we were chatting, and politics came up, and I told him, I said, man, you've been in there for a long time. He said, oh yeah. He said, you know how the system works. He said, I do for them and they do for me.
There you go.
So, I mean, that was pretty clarifying as to what in the hell goes on there.
Yeah.
They all do each other's favors. They get called on to say, hey, I need you to back me on this, even though you may not like it, but I guarantee I'll back you on this other thing you're trying to do, and that's what they do. They horse trade.
Mm-hmm.
Straight out of the horse's mouth.
Right.
What would happen if we made them all independents, where they do away with the Democratic and the Republican Party?
Well, if they're allowed to stay there for decades on end, you just get more of the same.
Yeah.
Because they will collude with each other and find ways to enrich themselves and make the rest of us poorer, depending on which side is in.
Yep. They just turn into what we've got now with the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yeah. It's really a sad thing. It's a dangerous thing, and it's headed our way if we don't try and nip it in the bud with some type of common sense approach and common sense.
Well, we got
people in
socialism
office
coming straight at us.
Yeah, we do. And if you think everything's going to be hunky dory with socialism, the bikers, the socialists, if it feels good, do it. Blah 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 blah. No, that's not going to be the case, because we're seen as a threat. Because a lot of us are ex-military men. A lot of us have been fighting socialism, communism. They go hand in hand all our lives. And if they think we're going to give up and lay down because it's happening in this country, they've got another thing coming.
Yeah, they're failing. People that are for this, of course, it's the young mushheads.
Right.
And I incidentally have adopted a whole new phrase that's easy. Rush Limbaugh likes to refer to them as mushheads.
Mm-hmm.
And, it can get confusing when you start talking about, okay, which are the millennials? Which are Generation X, Generation Y? I just refer to all of them now as Generation Useless.
Yeah.
And you could even go Generation Fucking Useless.
Right.
Because that's all they are. They have been, they've been entitled all of their life, and it's basically the fault of the baby boomers as parents.
Yes.
They created this fricking nightmare by entitling these kids. They gave them all kinds of shit. They never taught anyone of their children how to respect an elder, what a dollar truly is, other than going to an ATM machine and just pulling money out of the bank, doing chores to earn money to start buying some of your clothes once you get your first job, maybe not having to buy the entire car on your own, but you have to come up with a substantial amount of money, and you got to pay for the insurance and gas. On and on and on. You got that, plus we have allowed the liberals to totally infiltrate the education system.
Oh yeah, they control it.
It is just riddled with bullshit. They're not even teaching true history anymore. So now you have all these Generation Useless thinking socialism is great because that's what they've been taught in school.
Yep.
Senator Feinstein, one of the biggest libtards in history out of California, got into an argument with elementary school kids that were calling her out, saying socialism is great.
Oh yeah.
And she was trying to explain it wasn't. I mean, even Feinstein understands that.
Oh yeah, they were all about the New Green Deal.
But they're not pointing out what in the hell's going on in socialist countries around the globe. And all you got to do is watch the news, which is pretty frickin' depressing sometimes. as to what's going on in some of these countries and what socialism is truly doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're in trouble. We are in big trouble. Don't think we're not. You've got people like that idiot that was elected from New York. What do they call her? AOC.
Yeah.
The new Green Deal thing. She's advocating all kinds of lunacy. As a matter of fact, you can see Nancy Pelosi starting to get frustrated, which is really weird.
Yeah.
You know, I think she understands there's about to be a huge nightmare in this country. And if these people get in power, I mean, look at the lineup on the Democrat side for who's running for president. They are all liberals, and they're all starting to preach socialism because they think that's where the votes are.
There you go. There you go.
That should make it easier for Trump if they continue down that path.
Yeah.
Well, you can only hope, but the problem
Yeah.
is they're still trying to do a butcher job on him.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to get his numbers down, but you know, we'll have to do whatever it takes to protect him and keep the economy. The main thing is to keep the economy booming right now. Not that it shouldn't ever be, but we are in a recovery from the Obama years, and we don't need that to stop. So everybody can go out there and try and eliminate airplanes and take trains to Hawaii and that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And put millions of people out of work into lower paying jobs and suffering at the hands of socialist Democrats. And well, at this time, I always like to rotate back into before we start wrapping up, back into the biker issues. And Mel, let's. You want to give the dates and times of the next COCI meeting?
Yeah. Now, this COC meeting, I think, is going to be damned important
Interesting as hell it will be.
to everyone out there. And, you know, the COC&I says what it is, Coalition of Clubs and Independents. So you don't have to belong to an RC, an MC, an MM, an MA. You can be an independent rider. You can be a hog chapter member, whatever you want to be. But this coalition of clubs and independents, we've got regions within Texas. The one in the DFW area is known as Region 2. We meet every other month. This month it is March 17th. It's a Sunday, this coming weekend at Southern Junction in Royce City. The meeting starts at 2 o'clock. Most everyone gets there about noon because they like to order the special of the day and have a few drinks and, you know, just chat it up. And then the meeting starts at 2, and it's over usually pretty promptly by 3, but the important parts there's a lot of discussion going on from speakers about current legislation status. Bill Smith, the attorney, the AIM attorney, will get up there and he will talk a lot about what the hell your rights are, and there's going to be a lot this time, I think, discussed about what's been going on with all this profiling, and it's important for everyone to know just exactly what your rights are. I mean, you may think you know, you may have heard the talk once before, but I'll tell you, every time he talks about it, you get something new out of it. And with what's going on, we better be damn sure of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't cost you anything. There's no admission charged at the door. There's no charge. Come and join us.
You know, Mel, and it's so important. He will explain to you how to behave when you're stopped by one of these police officers that are doing the profiling and harassment. They are. You will receive a bunch of good information about how to handle yourself. And I'll say one thing right now, Mel, is if you're stopped, keep your cool. Keep your cool. Let them be the angry son of a bitches they may be.
Absolutely.
Every once in a while you get a good one. But it depends.
It's rare.
Yeah. It's rare from what we've seen in our community.
Well, when we were at the TA, that sheriff, I think he was working security for the TA that night, but somebody asked me, he said, why aren't y'all in on this? And he said, I'm staying out of that.
And like I pointed out in a previous video, Mel, I did talk to some real gang members up there at that TA. And, it was, they were around them, but they were stopping the wrong people. It was quite telling as what was going on, and that they were oblivious to what was going on around them. They were so busy stopping motorcycles. But hey, that's the way it is, because they've got tunnel vision when it comes to bikers. Now, some of these organizations, these police organizations, they're supposed to be gang units. But Mel, I never hear of any real successes they've had. Maybe there are. Maybe it's done on the QT. Maybe they don't want the type gangs that may attack them attacking them. But it's not bikers.
That's what it is. It's dangerous if they go after the real gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to do anything dangerous? Who wants to get in the middle of an OK Corral shootout like they have going on in here in the Metroplex and up in the Chicago area? I mean, who wants to get in the middle of that shit? Just saying. But I thought that was kind of amazing that I spotted 2 gang members right in the middle of it all.
Did you buy anything from them?
Well, hell, they were eating tacos. They were eating tacos at the TA. And so, anyway.
Watching the action.
Oh, you know what? When we told them, about our club and what we did, oh hell, they were all happy. They were high-fiving us. Knuckle bumps everywhere. The damnedest thing I ever saw. But hey, everybody, come to the COC. I mean, it is not what law enforcement and others have described publicly. It's nothing like you think it is. It is a legitimate political organization that meets bi-monthly, and we talk about the issues of the day. Motorcycle profiling, motorcycle safety funds, which, by the way, has been, well, I'm not going to say it right now until I don't want to break anybody's thunder or interfere with anybody's thunder that's fixing to announce what we now know, because we got answers back through the Freedom of Information Act, Texas. And it's worse than we thought.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it at that.
I was going to say, I'll bet it's a Hummer.
It's from what I'm hearing right now, it's worse than we thought. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that.
And maybe that's why the governor vetoed it last year.
It may be, but anyway.
And next time I will talk about a marketing thing, a scientific study that Harley Davidson has sponsored.
Oh, yeah.
At the University of California. I now know a little bit more about it, and it can be good subject matter for next week.
Okay, we'll do it. Hey, tune in next week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and share. That's right, never forget to share. and tell others about us. And we'll be talking about, like Mel said, motorcycle safety funds and other things that are in the works. Motorcycle profiling that's in the works here in Texas. The dead red light bill, that's where a red light doesn't recognize that you came or entered into the intersection. In other words, you can sit there all day long because you don't have enough metal mass on your motorcycle for it to recognize that you're there. It will not change.
And you cannot legally proceed.
Right. You can do a right on red, but what the hell if you're not going that way? And then you get on the other side of the road and it's doing the same damn thing.
Yep.
I deal with that every day here close to my home. Every day.
I do too.
So it's just something to deal with. And join us for episode number 335. And in our world, all we got to do is wait a day or two before some other bullshit happens.
Right.
Have a great evening, everybody. Geezer, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Mel,
Good night.
good night.